curious if you could just take the time machine going back to 50 years ago and see your younger self at age of 19.
Can you take me back there? I'd love to do that.
I wish I could. So, would you tell that young man the promising future and try to help him skip out all the failures, countless failures on the way? Why?
Well, the thing is that everybody thinks that you get instant success. You never do, of course. Well, unless you win the lottery. But the important thing is to go on trying. Because of course you fail the first time, and the second time, and even the 5,000th time you fail. Because it's difficult. If it was easy, someone would have done it before. So the important thing is to go on trying. And in my foundation, we try to encourage young engineers, people at school, to be interested in engineering, and then people at university and in life, in their careers, to understand that it's wonderful to create things. It's wonderful to use engineering and technology to make things work better. And it's a very, very happy life. Even though there's a lot of failure in it, it's a very happy life.
很多人会问，这个英国品牌的吸尘器到底在红什么？一台动辄数万元的机器，真有这么好用吗？为了了解市场近来吹起的高端家电风潮，我们来到距离伦敦2小时车程的 Dyson 总部。做家电的门口就放了一架可以垂直升降的英军轰炸机，还有这个破了一半可以看清楚内部构造的 Mini Cooper， 这些都是英国工艺的经典，工程师神往的设计杰作。
This is one of the first prototypes that was ever made for the dual cyclone vacuum cleaner. Initially prototyping with cardboard, which is what you can see here.
受不了传统吸尘器经常塞住吸不动 ，Dyson 创办人 James Dyson 花了5年，失败了5126次，倾家荡产才研发出史上第一台不使用集尘袋的吸尘器。那是1984年，他找遍欧美家电大厂推销，却没有人要买他的专利，因为当时的集尘袋市场1年高达5亿美元，谁会想把最赚钱的设计给改掉呢？但他不死心，最后是日本人给他机会。1986年，粉红色的 G-Force 上市，一台要价6万台币，成为日本泡沫经济上流社会的象征。这也让 Dyson 慢慢存到钱，成立公司。1993年反攻家乡市场，10年后才站稳英国第一大品牌。
Three words that describe James, I guess, are relentless and frustrated and never satisfied. So as soon as we've done a new product, we're on to the next one and trying to make that product better. So we're very critical of what we've done.
究竟有多吹毛求疵？测试研发机器全部要重摔撞击个上万次，来模拟消费者所有可能的使用情况。他们相信设计不该只顾外表，还要包含产品性能。所以 Dyson 不区分工程和设计部门，旗下2000名工程师职衔通通叫做设计工程师。品牌年获利180亿台币，1/3全部投入研发。
They're not worried about you failing. So if you have a good idea and it doesn't work out, you just learn from that and move on. It's quite a good environment to like thrive and try and like become the best engineer you can be.
I know how old.
I'm 23.
23 and you?
24.
24.
24.
24. 24.
追求创新，团队就必须年轻。员工平均年龄只有26岁。公司内部年年举办的 Dyson 挑战赛，更考验菜鸟工程师如何用既有的产品零件，打造出独一无二的原创发明。
We do a lot of work on paper. It's not so much computer based. We get sketches and ideas out and concept generation. So the books are really important, and they're quite like a symbol of RDD.
每位新进工程师都会领到这一本被列为品牌最高机密的素描簿，要大家把发想过程记录下来，未来回顾也许就是明星商品的催生轨迹。
I'm going to introduce you today to a robot vacuum cleaner that navigates in a totally different way, with a 360-degree camera.
吸尘器龙头为何到现在才推扫地机器人？其实1998年 Dyson 就投入机器人研发，2001年曾经发表 DC06旗下第一款机器人吸尘器，却因为机身太重、造价太高，始终没有上市。然而，等待是为了更新的技术。现在有了1秒可以拍30张画面的视觉感应器，还有比 F1 赛车快5倍的数位马达。这个用手机就能操控的机器人 ，Dyson 磨了16年才决定出手。
Japan was where my products were first launched, so it's very emotional for me to be able to launch our first robot here.
而为了培养研发领域最缺乏、懂工程又会设计的人才，他直接捐了1.2亿英镑，在帝国理工成立全新的设计工程学系，第一批新生今年秋季开始上课。
I look at things and wonder if they could be made better and start thinking about how they are made. I mean, that's what interests me.
从做家电到办教育，这位英国媒体口中的设计之王，不知还要带给市场什么新的惊奇。
Sir, I heard each freshman that is hired and comes into Dyson would be given a very special mission, that is to disassemble a vacuum cleaner and put it back all together. What is the purpose of this exercise?
Well, everybody does that, not just engineers. Anyone, even a director who comes, a non-executive director, has to do it. And it's really important to do, to understand that we make a product that you use at home. And that's all that's important, is the product, not the company, but the product, because that's what you buy at home. So we want everybody to understand that's what we're about. We're about making a product that you use at home. You have to assemble it and take it home and use it. And so you've made and understood the product that the company makes, and you're using it at home. And you made the one that you're using at home.
Sir, I feel design engineering is in your blood and gene. Now you have 7,000 employees in the world, and 2,000 of them are design engineers. The average age of them is 26. That's quite young. But you altogether make yearly profit up to 18 new Taiwan dollars. That's amazing performance. Sir, why would you like to hire inexperienced young people? What kind of special creativity you always see in them?
Well, of course, they've all been to university, and some of them have done doctorates. But what I love is their enthusiasm and their inventiveness. I don't particularly want people with experience.
Oh, really?
Because experience can be a bad thing.
You mean
Because-
think in the box?
Well, if they're experienced, they think they know everything. I would rather people didn't know things but were curious and wanted to do something different. So that's what I'm looking for, and I find that in graduates and people who just postgraduates have that extraordinary enthusiasm and wanting to change the world and wanting to do things in a different way, and that's what I'm looking for.
So it's the personality and the enthusiasm that you emphasize on your employees.
Yes, and lack of fear, and not using their past experience, but wanting to create something and discover something and start a different path.
Sir, I read your autobiography, Against All Odds. In the book, I make so many notes. Too many new things for me.
Thank you for reading it.
No, it's a good book, very inspiring. In the book, you wrote about your father's death while you were just 9 years old. And ever since then, you became independent and mentally forced yourself to grow up fast. It really gives me a feeling of being on your own experience. How do these experiences help you in career? And how could you always live up to your hopes, even in times of adversity?
Yeah. Yes, I think it was. My father was ill for 3 or 4 years before he died of cancer.
Wow.
So I didn't really see him for since I was about 6, I suppose. And then when he died, I was sent away to boarding school. So I felt very alone and independent. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's how I felt. So it's never worried me to be different and to do different things and to take a different course to other people and to even be slightly obtuse. So maybe it helped me with that. But it, it's not an enjoyable experience to lose a father. But maybe it's helped me a bit. And it is a fact, actually, that a lot of successful people have lost a parent when they were young. 80% of British prime ministers lost their father before the age of 10. So maybe that says something.
One sentence I like most, I mark it. James Dyson, Sir Dyson, tell us, you can always dream something bigger than you. In the book. Well, sir, you started your career from working in your garage, in your backyard. That's very legendary. I wonder, throughout all your career life, what is the most frustrating experience you ever had? And what did you learn from the experience?
Well, of course, there have been lots of frustrating experiences, but one that's probably most interesting is that when I developed the technology for the vacuum cleaner in 1983, I had no money at all. I was hugely in debt. And I thought the solution was to go and license electronics manufacturers. So I went round them, and they were very interested. They wanted to have a look at it, but no one would license it. And I suppose you might think, well, that means it's not very commercial. But actually, each time I went to one and they said no, well, eventually they said no, I got more and more encouraged, because it
Being rejected?
Yes, because they were rejecting me without a reason. So what I realized was that they didn't want new technology. So there was my opportunity. If I made it myself, instead of trying to license them, if I made it myself, I would have an advantage, because they're not interested in new technology. They're not interested in designing better technology and taking risks and bringing out a new product that benefits the customer. They're just interested in having an easy life and not making any changes, and of course selling paper bags. They loved selling paper bags. So the rejection and the failure actually encouraged me.
Oh, sir, your life is full of machines. I know in the headquarters you have jet fighters, sea trunk that you made while you were studying in London, and even cut in half Mini Cooper. That's crazy. That's one of your birthday gifts last year, I knew. How would you describe your obsession with machines to us?
Well, it's very easy to understand, really. I'm just fascinated by how things work, and I'm really fascinated by new technology and new designs and engineering that create a revolution and make a difference. So we have a Harrier Jump Jet, which is the first plane to take off vertically and then go like that. It also comes along and stops like that. And it's a very clever British invention. The Mini was really the first super small car with a transverse engine, so that was a really important invention.
But cut into half.
But cut in half. That wasn't my idea, but okay. I'm very pleased they did it, because it was a surprise present.
Okay.
So that was, and we also have the world's first jet engine, which was designed by an Englishman called Whittle. And we have one of the very first that he ever made, and it's certainly the oldest running jet engine, and it always starts first time, and we take it out and start it in the car park at work sometimes. So that's of course changed the world, because it was an engine that only had one moving part, and previously all aircraft engine had hundreds of thousands of moving parts. So totally brilliant invention. So I want these inventions around me, because I find them inspirational, and also everybody at Dyson finds them inspirational.
That must be very exciting to see all these models in your headquarters in person. Sir, now we have James Dyson Award. It's an international competition, and Taiwan has just entered last year. Have you yourself feel very impressed by some of the designs, and what are your evaluation standards and comments?
Well, what we're looking for is unusual in the design competition, because we're looking for someone who's solved a problem. Often design competitions are just about how something looks, but we're interested in someone solving a problem they're seeing around you. It could be a health problem, it could be a safety problem, whatever it is. So we're encouraging students to do that. So that's the big difference with ours.
Yes.
And sometimes people go on and manufacture these things that they've discovered. And it's just fascinating to see the creativity and imagination that young people have.
Again, that echoes what we just said. Can we dream something bigger than we are? Because while you start your business, your design, backless design, people always told you, hey, if Hoover ever think of it, why Hoover didn't do it? Why it would be you, right? Mm-hmm. So students, they think they could solve the existing problems. Really, they need to take their passion and believe.
Yes, and they do. They're incredibly passionate. And that's why I enjoy employing young people so much, because they want to change the world. They think they can. They have that confidence and lack of fear. And so it's great through the foundation and this competition to be able to encourage that all over the world.
Yes. Sir, Dyson has anti-traditional design logic. Your design engineers are so good at putting mature, popular home electronic appliance under transformation, from backless vacuum cleaner, bladeless fan, to this revolutionary hair dryers. Why would you like to challenge those home electronic appliances that people are so used to using?
Well, because they have problems, so we see the problems and we want to solve them. We at Dyson are just driven to solving those various problems and continuing to reinvent ourselves even within that product. So that we won't stop here. We'll go on and improve on this, just as we have with our vacuum cleaner. So our handheld vacuum cleaners are getting more and more powerful. They last longer. They now have HEPA filtration, and they have the fluffy head that is really good at picking out things off hard floors. So we'll go on and on reinventing ourselves, as well as bringing out new technology. Well, to never give up and to understand you're in the world's greatest profession, the most satisfying profession. It will pay very well in the future, because engineers will be the most valuable people in society.